this test made many teenagers cry. Oh. Are you ready?
Starts now.
Hopeless and never even get into the country.
So what do you think about Hong Kong students? They study their whole life to take this exam so they can get into a good university and get a good job.
Definitely not.
So you don't see the relevance?
No, I don't.
大家好!
Welcome back to what is now episode 3 of the
Casual curriculum curriculum.
Now I'm very excited today because as you can see we are in a new kitchen, and this kitchen belongs to a very important woman, my grandma. Now I'm very excited to be here today. She is the boss of the family. She is the true matriarch, the head of state.
Reynolds family 嘅女王啊.
And she is the OG socialite. My grandma could go in any social situation whatsoever and she'd be like a duck to water.
What's OG?
OG means the original. Well, today we're actually going to compare to a very formal English exam. In fact, the Hong Kong DSE English Exam, which is actually considered to be a very difficult English exam.
Mama, this test made many teenagers cry.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Yes.
But to make it more interesting, we're also going to have Gladys sit the DSE English exam, which you've never actually done.
Yeah, 我爸爸媽媽 send 咗去英國 so I don't have to do it.
You're doing it today.
If I'm doing it, you're doing it.
但係咁樣好唔公平，我有讀寫障礙。
Just try. Just do your best.
So we'll be comparing the DSE English and how relevant that can be and how you can use skills from that reading paper and maybe transfer them into more everyday English casual situations. As this is a cook-along as well, we're also here to bake what I consider to be the best chocolate cake in the world, which is my grandma's chocolate cake. So let's jump into it.
老公點解咁對我？緊張啊，緊張。
How are you feeling?
Fine.
When's the last time you sat a paper?
50 years ago.
So there we go, just check your name. This is a formal exam. Just to let you know, 10 minutes for reading, 15 minutes to answer the questions. It's not the full paper, there's just 14 questions. No talking, no looking at the other person's paper. 25 minutes in total. No cheating. Okay, your 10 minutes for reading starts now. Okay, so whilst they are doing their exam in the other room, I'm actually going to break down this same reading paper, the formal structure of it, and we're going to look at what value you can take from it and how we can actually use this kind of formal paper as material for something that you might use in more casual, everyday use. First of all, let's look at the reading material. So the reading material is a newspaper article and it's using Graham Norton, who's a very funny, famous comedian, and it's saying he's an agony uncle. Alright, so an agony uncle is basically somebody who responds to letters or questions that have been sent in from a wider public audience and try and offer help using their experiences. Now, the reading material is helpful because this is probably quite current to the time that it was released. Always try and find current reading material, things that are happening in the news or more casually in magazines. That can be a way in of talking to someone about something that's going on. Next, the questions obviously is very formal. What is suggested when the text states, "He has heard it all"? Line 1. So obviously you're not going to be speaking to someone like that in real life. What you can look at is like phrases and vocabulary from a reading material. He has heard it all. Well, that shows that he is a very experienced person. I would find a friend who's wanting to learn English as well. Read them out loud together because that really helps your understanding. And just discuss, okay, what is this article generally about? What do you think about this article? What do you think about what this person is saying? And just kind of bounce off each other, and just having that kind of question answer format in a more casual way, it really will develop your confidence and it really will help you get comfortable using English. Whilst we would never normally use a paper like this and just put it down and start discussing it together,
You're not supposed to make sound.
You can take some value from it. Ultimately, you can focus on phrases, vocabulary, explore how they're used in context, explore what you understand the meaning to be, and then it develops your understanding of English as a whole. But that's it. That's us having a closer look at the paper and how we could use it more casually. And now we'll see if our students have finished their exam papers in a very formal situation. You have 2 minutes remaining.
Hopeless. I never even get into the country.
You still have 2 minutes, go! Every minute counts.
Finished?
Yes.
Yeah?
So what do you think about Hong Kong students? They study their whole life to take this exam so they can get into a good university and get a good job.
Definitely not.
So you don't see the relevance?
No, I don't. And I think it's very complicated. I don't know how anybody gets through it.
I actually think it's quite easy.
The thing is, you're sort of brought up with this reading, probably.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
我覺得 grandma 講得啱，由細到大我都有操卷啦，我好熟悉呢一種 style 嘅 exam paper。
The style of the exam paper, I think you need a degree to work it out.
I noticed that you read everything before you did the question.
Did you not?
Of course not. You always read the question so you know what they're asking. Not everything is asked here. That's how you save time. 咁都唔知真係，哇！仲話做老師啊你。
Not everybody is academic. You've got to be a good conversationalist, get on with people, and be kind.
Touch on the fact you said being kind, which is obviously very important, but I'm not going to be kind. I'm going to make you wait to find out your results. So we're going to mark these later, and in the meantime, I'm going to start baking. We are merely your assistants. You are the expert. So I guess actually I'm wearing the wrong apron.
Grandma 先係廚神啊 ，cooking god。
Cooking goddess in this particular.
Well, the first thing we do is switch the oven on.
Step 1, oven on.
And now, to give you a job, we cut that into cubes. And it's got to be at room temperature. Flour is 225 grams. Next thing is 8 ounces of caster sugar, and we have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That makes it rise a large tablespoon of cocoa. No, so you do it one at a time, then put them in there. And you leave that running for about 10 minutes.
專業 baker。
No.
You've sat the paper, didn't particularly enjoy that experience.
No.
You say it's very different in style to what you're used to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I talked about the relevance of how you might use a paper like that, and particularly the reading material in a more casual situation.
Yeah.
But going back to like the changing style, I want to ask you about how you feel about how English has changed over the years. Has it become more casual now, would you say? It's like
Spoken
day to day.
English has become more casual.
Is there anything you hear day to day now that you just don't understand?
A lot of people use a lot of OMG, and you've got to think, what is that?
What
Then
does
you can
OMG
think,
mean?
oh my god. It takes a while unless you're familiar with all these things.
What do you think BFF means?
Don't know.
Me and you.
BFF.
We're BFFs.
Best
Friends.
forever.
Forever. Right, okay.
Okay, back to cake.
So that was 8 minutes for the mix. Sugar, the larder.
I would say it's a very old English kind of thing to have
Yes,
a larder.
it is.
乜嘢係 larder？
A larder is basically just an open storeroom where you would keep all of your food, your dry food.
Where all the wine goes.
Mine's better than yours。嗰個 DSE 嘅卷令到我而家好有競爭欲啊！
Would you say there's anything that you like about modern lifestyle? Obviously, the language has changed and it can be a bit confusing.
Time people swear a lot more.
Oh, that is
30 minutes and then we'll test it. The nicest part for children in baking is licking the bowl after you've baked.
大細路，如果我媽見到我食未煮嘅蛋，佢會心臟病發。
What to do? Just chop.
I think I know how to chop lettuce.
Right, well, as long as you know.
我而家終於知道我老公喺廚房嘅態度喺邊度得嚟㗎。
Now, we've been talking a lot about formal versus casual today, and one formal thing that I think is very, very important in the UK, which my grandma is also very, very expert at, is table manners.
好啦，大家而家 grandma 咧就會教我哋點樣 properly 咁樣 set 一張台。大家而家見到啦 ，grandma 已經擺啲 placemats 喺度啦。
Fork is on the left and the knife is on the right.
哇！
Wine glass, always to the left.
Right.
原來要 set 一張靚嘅台要搞咁耐。
I think it's worth it.
Cheers! Thanks for having us.
We talked about table setting. Now, what are the absolute do-nots with table manners?
Well, it's nice to wait for it until everybody's ready to eat rather than start before someone.
Step 2, I would say, when you have your food and you're eating and you've got a mouth full,
You don't talk. You definitely don't use your phone at the table. That is completely banned.
don't slurp, don't make too much noise chewing. Make sure your mouth is closed when you're eating.
In some Asian culture, to slurp is to show appreciation.
And so it's a different culture.
No right or wrong,
No,
just
我覺得 grandma 教嘅 table manner 同埋點樣 set 台好緊要咯，因為呢啲嘢其實我自己都唔係好知，但係你知道咗之後咧，哇！食飯成件事都有禮儀咗好多。
Last one I would mention on behalf of my granddad Dennis, never wear a hat to a restaurant. I think that's it. It's time to enjoy our lunch and then get back to finishing the cake. And of course, stay tuned to find out who did better on the DSE exam. Grandma or Gladys? Let us know in the comments who you think will win.
我而家食唔落飯啦又。
We'll just leave them to cool a little.
Wow, delectable.
如果大家聞到嘅話，都會即刻好想整呢個蛋糕。
Wow, feel like I'm back in Hong Kong teaching and marking again. Very different start to the paper. This is not easy to mark, never mind complete. What are all these numbers in brackets? Honestly. Huh? Oh la la!
你係咪真係老師嚟㗎？
Okay, we have a winner. Come back.
我要攞埋杯嘢飲。
Honestly, I have great respect for anyone who has sat that paper or marked that paper. That is extremely difficult to navigate.
Whatever the outcome be,
Best man will win.
the best woman will win, but also I might cry if I lose.
Can we please remember my grandma hasn't been to school for 70 years or sat an exam for probably 60 years. 2 pages are out of 30 marked. 3, 2, 1.
Got 10.
22. I'm feeling 22. Grandma 係一個 native English speaker，佢係一出世就用英文，一返學就寫英文，但係 DSE 嘅英文考試卷竟然難到 Grandma。
That just goes to show 80 plus years of being a native English speaker, performed not so well on DSE, to put it politely. Formal exam, yes, they have an importance, but the casual side of learning is completely different.
Different, absolutely.
You sure you weren't doing practice papers last night?
No.
We've waited about half an hour for the cake to cool off. Now we've got to fill it and top it.
So Grandma, do you have anything to say to anyone who might have taken the DSE English test and didn't do so well?
Don't give up. Keep trying.
Yeah, I actually think that's a very, very good point. I would never put yourself down too much for performance on one formal exam. It doesn't mean that you're not necessarily good at something. It certainly shouldn't stop you from continuing to learn about something.
Yeah.
For sure. English, as we're exploring on the casual curriculum, is not just as simple as reading a paper, answering comprehension questions, or being very, very formal. Most everyday English is what you can learn by communicating with people, and the more you give it a go, the more you learn.
大家求學不是求分數，所以就算如果你對自己嘅英文唔係好有信心，或者覺得考試都唔係咁叻，絕對唔係太遲去嘗試去學。咁我老公嘅 casual curriculum 希望都可以好幫到你啦。如果下一次有啲乜嘢 topic 你都想學嘅話咧，記住喺下邊留言，咁我哋咧有機會會揀你錄。
And obviously what we're not looking to do is discredit formal exams, because they certainly have a place. They are a necessity when you're at school, and they grant access to very important parts of your life, getting into university and getting jobs. But this curriculum really trying to give you the boost to be as confident as you can day to day.
大家努力啊！
So we put the top on the cake, but we need a topping as well.
Yes, we need the chocolate.
So you get the glass bowl, you break your chocolate up. Good old dollop of chocky there.
我諗我今日煮嘢食嘅全程我係一樣嘢都冇做過。There's a saying in my culture about someone like you. 入得廚房，出得廳堂。
So there we have it, Grandma's chocolate cake, aka the best chocolate cake in the world. I've been given the great honour of cutting the cake. Whoa. Okay, so there we go. There's the formal English versus everyday casual English. We've done the DSE. Obviously, there is a space for formal exams. They're needed at school. They are a necessity. But obviously, there's a huge place for casual learning as well. Now that we're all done, we're going to enjoy the cake that we made.
Cheers!
As always, please remember, like, subscribe, and comment to let us know what to do next.
Oh, yeah.
And don't talk with your mouth full like her. Ah, the kids are back. Been at school today. Special treat from great grandma. Because Finley can eat eggs. What is it?
It's cake.
Because Noah's allergic to eggs.
Ooh, yeah. Thank you, great grandma. Next time. Yummy.